Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Hey, Terrence Crawford, best fighter in the world, versus Canelo 2. Seems to be maybe in the works. You know, they're talking about it. A rematch could happen. We didn't think it was rematch was going to happen, but hey, money talks, BS walks, right? So, Terrence Crawford has come out, not him, one of his guys from his camp, Bernie the Boxer, said, Crawford's going to want 100 million for this rematch, right? And rightfully so, right? I talked about this about 3 weeks ago. I don't really want to see a rematch. The only thing that would interest me on a rematch is humility, right? Terrence Crawford's name should be first. Terrence Crawford should be the A side. Canelo needs to be humble. And fans needs to be humble. This face of boxing and this coddling throughout the years, no, your name ain't first. You're walking out first. You're doing those things, those challenger things that people have to do in the world of boxing, period. That's the only thing that would really interest me right now. The fighting aspect of it we can get to later, but that's what would interest me. Now, if Terrence Crawford wants 100 million for it, don't start talking about now is too much money because Canelo Alvarez wanted 150 million to fight a guy 3 divisions lower than him, and everybody was okay with that. He wanted 200 million to fight David Benavidez, a guy that was in his damn weight class for years, right? So, those things are astronomical. Don't start seeing it when his brother's about to get 100 million. He deserves 100 million because damn, he's the best, and he's proved it. And throughout the years, and all of these things that he's had to hear that he can't sell, that I'm need to sell my house in Beverly Hills. I can't sell the man. Other people on other sides of the street. He don't bring nothing to the table. He's been going through this the whole time while kicking ass and taking names. So therefore, if you don't understand it now, then too bad for you. You know what I mean? Just too bad for you. Canelo needs this fight more than Terrence Crawford is. Terrence Crawford's legacy is secured, locked in. Canelo, on the other hand, if you're objective, his legacy is tarnished. It was tarnished before this fight as far as people that are looking objective, right? But some, it depends on where your mindset is. We got people that won't think Trump has done anything wrong ever. No crimes, acts like a president, his decorum is okay, whatever. There's people that still are like that. So those are not objective people because, if you compare it to others, there's no comparison. So if you're not objective and you like Canelo so much that you don't, no matter what we say, then, no one's going to penetrate you. But if you're looking at this, Canelo has a tarnished legacy. First of all, you lost to this little guy. That's first. Second of all, the other thing that was in daylight is you avoided David Benavidez. Not the David Benavidez that's up at 175 pounds, or not the one that's about to fight Gilberto Ramirez at cruiserweight. The one that was at 168 and he was the champion before you were, right? The WBC got him out the way so you can get the titles, right? That was your mandatory for 2.5 years. David Morrell, who was your mandatory for 2 years, a WBA regular title holder. Those things are out in the open lately, so people kind of realize those, especially David Benavidez. David Morrell, they kind of ignored that happened too, right? But let's go before that. Undisputed fight against Demetrius Andrade at 160, the weight division, middleweight, that he wanted to be undisputed in that weight division until those guys came up. At 154 pounds, you got 3 other champions: Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Andrade. I ain't fighting none of them, right? But somebody gonna consider me better than those. That's tarnished. How? And then his manager, Eric Gomez, comes out about 5 weeks ago now and says, we avoided a certain type of style, right? So a Hall of Famer can be in the Hall of Fame knowingly that he avoided styles, obviously avoided Demetrius Andrade because that's that kind of style, been doped on clenbuterol, said it was the taco meat, right? So you're doped, been avoiding certain kind of styles, running from fighters, right? And some people, ignore and say, Canelo fought everybody. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Canelo hadn't fought somebody like a guy like me that I wanted him to fight pretty much ever. Like Golovkin, maybe Golovkin 1 and 2, maybe. But ever. You know, like what Jamal and Jamel Charlo, they're from Texas. Those are huge fights. Why wouldn't we do that? Right? Demetrius Andrade, undisputed? $40 million? You ain't gonna do that? Then you get doped? Then this belt that should have been investigated, the franchise title, who takes that title? Who takes that? Right? Any great champions take that title and want that title? No, really? You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things. So I think Canelo needs to come in here, be humble, take less, considerably less than Terrence Crawford for the fight because you needed more, right? And beat the hell out of Terrence Crawford, at least. Because he's never going to fight David Benavidez now, right? And everybody know what time that is. And he's not going to fight Bivol again. We all know what time that is. Bivol's the same size as Canelo, to be honest with you. Right? And he ain't fighting him. So Terrence Crawford, smaller guy, there's a chance he can come back and get Terrence Crawford. That's it. But the legacy is tarnished for all those reasons. And, you know, at the Hall of Fame should be looking at him sideways. Really, there's a lot of reasons for the Hall of Fame to be looking at him sideways, especially after Eric Gomez's statement of we avoided certain type of fighters. Demetrius Andrade standing over there making a fraction of what these guys is, and he's better than Canelo Alvarez. He was willing to prove it at all stages of Canelo's career. I know you're like, well, Demetrius didn't do this and he didn't do it. Well, he was the champion at 154. Canelo was his mandatory. Didn't do that. He was a champion at 160. The key for Canelo to become undisputed. Canelo didn't do that either. Right? He would fight Canelo now. Let's do it now. Or at 168. We didn't do that. David Benavidez had to do his dirty work. So there's reasons for Canelo to be, his legacy to be tarnished here. You know, I led it off with him losing to Terrence Crawford, a very small guy. So he's going to have to get that get back. And to start, you're going to have to be humble. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.